NFHell Week 20 divisional playoff round. Thanks for joining us. We're going to talk playoff football. We're going to talk news. We're going to talk our picks. I'm Midwest Jet, your host. Welcome back to NFHell. I am joined by Dames Marvs.
You got it right.
G-Mid Jazz.
The other side.
A win.
The other side.
And joining us again, if you weren't in here last week, GOBO.
No.
Hey, everybody.
Gobes.
Directly below you. There you go.
I'm on top of you, GOBO.
I've always been a power bottom.
You know.
Jesus Christ.
Welcome to NFHell. Start off with some news, some bangers. Basically, we all kind of know what's been happening in the league. As soon as the season ends, here come the firings. So we're going to kind of go through some firings and see what we think. Vikings.
Did you say the firings or the fire rings?
Both.
Okay. It is hell.
It is. It's hell. So it can, kind of be either or. The Giants must have forced the Vikings' hand a little bit, and they decided that their defense sucks. I'm pretty sure it sucked all year. Firing their defensive coordinator.
Oh my God! Look at Jess. I don't even know. I don't know if you're high or if you're just like so happy that you.
I was gonna say he's like floating.
Your fucking face is like.
Yeah.
I'm still on a cloud, guys. And yeah, I mean, when a quarterback breaks a playoff record in his first career playoff game, your defense got torched. So it was great. It's a great day to be alive, guys.
Yeah, Donatel, yeah, he really focused in on that 3-4, that expecting his linebackers to create all that pressure, and it just, the run spreads you out so far, and the Giants just creamed them. Like they were working that system all day, and he got totally exposed. And it's kind of like we talked about online. Somebody's got to fall on the sword when you take a loss like that.
Yeah, I also think it's kind of like the whole thing. You can't keep winning a game by one possession all year and get to the playoffs and expect to keep that luck going. It has a lot to their defense. I mean, their offense was not the problem.
Right.
At the end, but we'll get to that. But
can't give up 31 points a game.
Right. Yep. James, Marv, you have anything?
Is that what they gave up?
I don't have the stat in front of me, but I mean, I think about all the games that the Vikings lost, and they were all very high scores.
Yeah, blowouts. The 4 games they lost were all blowouts. All the games they won were one possession. So they had a point differential of the opposite of what a winning team would have. It's never happened before. I don't think, or maybe it has, but it was
that record.
4 score in 20,000 years ago. But that's why you get fired. That's why you get fired. All right. Moving down to South Beach, Miami also fired their defensive coordinator. Why? Was their defense really that bad this year? Or was it their offense when Tua went out? I feel like their whole scheme was gone. James Mars, what do you think about is that your boy Tua? I mean, do you think it's the defense? What?
Dude, they still have one of the most solid rosters in the NFL. They're going to be better next year. If Tua can stay healthy, dude, you guys remember when this happened to Aikman? He fucking retired. He was and he's dumb now online. I mean now, and he's clearly got some mental loss. His fingers are all like this, just from the amount of getting your fingers jammed up. But he's all kinds of fucked up, and I hate to see that for anybody. Except for Troy Aikman, because I really hate the Cowboys. But dude, I think if Tua comes back, honestly, they didn't play that poorly without Tua. There was a couple things in that game that could have gone either way, and we'll get there. But I mean, Tua needs to be there, or they need to have that guy, whoever it is. And then the roster is still solid, so we'll see.
I think Miami made some really good additions, even on defense this last year. I think that their GM is just dynamite. He finds a lot of gems that fit under that cap space. So I really like Miami moving forward. Injuries I think kind of cut their season a little bit short, especially to Tua. But Yeah, as far as like defensive schemes, I don't really understand this firing. I think that the secondary probably needed a little bit of work, but I think that they were moving in the right direction. So I don't agree with this firing at all.
Right. Unless they got somebody in mind that they already know who they're hiring. You
Right,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
It
Like
is.
that.
It's kind of weird because I think that was their strong suit, at least while they had a quarterback under center. But I will say this, dude. You tell me that you add 2 players, Nick Chubb and fucking Tyreek Hill, and that's your off season alone. They did more than that, but that's your off season alone. Or I
Right.
guess they got
Yeah.
Chubb mid season, but dude, that's I mean
Bradley Chubb.
props to the whole
Yeah.
organization. They're on the rise, and that should be scary to a lot of your division, especially as the Patriots are waning. So
Right.
Right. Yep. All right. Let's move on down. We can stay in Florida, I guess. I'm going to say this guy, I kind of felt like, again, it was like one of those things when Brady comes to the Bucs, all of a sudden this guy's a stud offensive coordinator. He's getting all these head coaching. Do I think he's a bad offensive coordinator? No, not by any means. But Leftwich, I mean, I feel like it was time.
this was his first run, though, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
mean, you can.
I mean,
It's hard to say when you have Tom Brady under center how much control your offensive coordinator actually has over the offense, because we all know that Brady calls his plays much like Manning did, almost at the line. I mean, or in the huddle, and so that's another kind of a fall guy situation. And I guess they're like, now that Brady is possibly gone, we don't have an offensive coordinator. That just tells me that they gave him a chance because they had Tom Brady and they were going to have him learn and be that guy. And then once Brady's gone, he's either going to stay because, they had confidence in him or they didn't. And to me, this just says Byron's not ready to be an offensive coordinator in the NFL.
Yeah, with a quarterback that you would actually have to not let run the plays. I mean, that's where I feel like, you come over to the Jets for Zach, good luck. Like here, it's like, you call in the pathway, Brady gets up to the line, he's like, nah, we're running it. I mean,
this is like consistently my criticism with coaches that were former players. And Byron Leftwich has kind of a special place in my heart. When I was actually working as a security guard for the Broncos in college, I was working perimeter security on the field, and he came very close to pegging me in the face with a football during a game with the Broncos, and Mercedes Lewis jumped like 12 feet in the air and caught it, kept me off of Sports Center's not top 10. So I always have a lot of respect for Byron Leftwich, very talented player, but I see him as like a technique guy rather than a scheme guy. And I think that's been the Bucs' issue, is that like as their team ages, they're going to become less and less competitive because Arians, he counts on his talent on the field. He doesn't try to outcoach anybody. So I think that, it's kind of a fall guy situation. I hope he gets another shot, but I see him more as like a quarterbacks coach or like a, assistant OC. I don't see him as an offensive coordinator.
right.
I made this same mistake earlier in the season. Arians is up in the booth now, just like Love and Life. It's Bowles, right?
Yeah, it's Bowles.
Bowles.
But here's the thing.
Bowles
Here's the thing
too.
with Bowles is, he was a coach. He was for the Jets, dude. He's trash.
Well,
Guys.
how are they going to be this coming year? I mean,
They're going to be bad.
I think
Just-
they're going to be bottom of the division.
Yeah, me too.
But the justification here is their offense was terrible the last 8 weeks of the year. So whether that's
Guys,
Brady's fault or what.
I'll pose a question for you guys here. If you were an offensive coordinator coming into the league, would you want to have Tom Brady as your quarterback or a young guy you could groom? Because I mean, the pressure is obviously with Brady. Are you really allowed to be yourself? Are you really allowed to be the offensive coordinator you thought you were going to be? Or is it, all right, here's Tom Brady running everything. I just throw out some plays. He does it, and then I take the blame if he's old and he sucks. So I'll play it on the other side. Maybe Leftwich does need another shot, but
To answer your question, who do I choose? The young guy or Brady? It depends on who else is on my team.
Right.
If I'm the Jets, do I really want to take a chance on another young quarterback that may or may not work out while the rest of my team is playing at top levels? I might look at a Tom Brady, which I'm sure we'll get to here in a bit.
Yeah.
But there's definitely teams out there.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I don't think
I don't know. I don't know, Jess.
Right. It's a good question.
Yeah, I think it's really tough because I think that Tom Brady for the most part creates job security, at least he has in the last few seasons. And yeah, it's hard, yeah, because you bring in a rookie quarterback or a young quarterback undeveloped, and yeah, you never know what I mean. NFL is a money product, so yeah, you have to win or you don't keep your job.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll kind of see this develop and see if he gets another job somewhere else. Moving on to the Ravens, their offensive coordinator decided to step down. I don't know if this is a mutual thing or if he was actually leaving. Because I feel
Greg
like,
Roman?
yeah,
Mhm.
Greg Roman.
is that his name? Yeah. Thank you, James Mars. Esthetician.
Yeah, this one boggles me a little bit too. I think that he is possibly being approached by other teams and just wants to cut the ties now because there really is no reason for it. Because you lost your quarterback towards the last 5 games of the season, and even when he was there, the best weapon that he had is a tight end. He has
Right.
no receivers on that team that are worth anything. So I mean, not they're not worthless because they're still. I mean, you have to be elite to be in the league to begin with. But I mean, that was Lamar's problem, and he really got the reputation of being a running quarterback this year, and that's what got him killed ultimately.
Right.
So in a year when you wanted to stay healthy because you're in a contract situation, to not have any weapons to throw to where you're constantly putting your body. I mean, I get the whole thing. I don't think he sat out that. I think he's legitimately still injured. I think knowing that he doesn't have anybody to throw to, he probably could have played the game, but he wouldn't have been at his game. No. He would have had to be a pocket quarterback because he doesn't have the mobility because of the injury.
Right.
That's, to me, it makes sense. Like a lot of Ravens fans are like, let's get rid of this fucking guy. But it seems to me like they're trying to work it out with him. So
yeah, again, time will tell with that one, I think, because it's like how healthy is he? Maybe he'll be in, like, I mean, I did hear Harbaugh say something about they want him to be involved in hiring the new OC. So that's also something to be pondering going into next season.
I think it was probably mutual. I think that, yeah, if you look at I think Lamar is on definitely the downturn of his career. I think that mobile quarterbacks kind of have an expiration date for the most part, and I think Lamar is a really great example of that. I think that he took a lot of big hits, and I don't think he's going to be the player that he was. And I think that I honestly think Roman can kind of see through that, and I think that he wants to advance his career by getting into a more competitive system. I think the Ravens are in trouble the next.
Let me ask you this then, since I know this is not on the agenda, but we're talking Ravens, we're talking Lamar. What does that mean for his contract in your eyes, Gobo? Because I mean, when you say that, I can't say no, you're wrong,
right?
Because I don't know, but I've debated going after him maybe.
So if we think about it from a business perspective, I think there's a lot of teams that are looking for quarterbacks, and if I'm Lamar Jackson's agent, I'm on the phone with Miami. I'm on the phone with the Jets. I'm on the phone with Seattle. Yeah, I'm looking at teams that could potentially, with a tried and true quarterback, make a playoff run, or at least on paper. And I'm going to try to sell that brand of Lamar as he was a few seasons ago. Are the teams going to see through that? I think some of the smarter teams are probably not. That's why I don't see him in a place like Seattle. So I think Pete Carroll's going to see right through that, and he's going to try to develop something else. But I honestly if that doesn't work, then it's just like maybe looking at renegotiating his contract with Baltimore and trying to keep him on there, and then just trying to, but it's also like it's an ego thing too. It's like how much of a hit to his contract is Lamar willing to take to stay in the league? So I honestly, it's a hard question to answer. But I think that statistically, I think he probably stays in Baltimore. I think they find a way to make that deal work. And I think that, yeah, it's the beginning of the end of his career.
There's two situations there, and I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up. They could franchise tag him, which I think would just
That would be a
that
mistake
would
in my eyes. Yeah.
that would blow up in their faces.
Yeah.
But I also look at this. I hear what you're saying about Lamar, but you give him, I mean, look at Seattle's draft capital right now. They already have 2 rookie tackles that were amazing. They played every single snap of every single game, and they were not the problem. It was the interior line and the center. We can fix that problem with the draft, create one of the best young offensive lines in the game of football, and then have 2 weapons in Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf with Noah Fant I mean, if you give this guy some weapons and some protection.
I'm not saying, I mean, look what Seattle did with Geno Smith this year. So, I mean, I'm not saying that it's the worst decision. I just think that that's a really big contract to take on for a player that is legitimately only going to be good for maybe 1 to 2 more seasons.
See, that's what I'm saying. If you give him, let's say they give him the standard 4-year deal, right?
Mhm.
It's going to be big numbers. It's going to be like 45 to 50. I mean, that's
50 million, 200 million.
45 is what I would be.
Yeah, 45 AAV. Yeah, that's
when you could do that because all of the rest of your players are
Under rookie deal.
They're on rookie deals. Yeah.
And here's why I think this is why I'm even bringing it up. Pete Carroll's 71 years old. Do you think he really wants to start again with a rookie quarterback at some point? That's the only reason they're contemplating bringing Geno back. I think Geno will be back, and I'm fine with that because I think that we can get wins. I think we can get playoffs. I don't think we're going to win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith, but I mean, Pete Carroll's at the end of his time. I mean,
Right.
is he going to be there when he's 75? I mean, he looks like he could.
I was like, yeah.
But what do you want to do in the interim of that time? You got to win. He's got to win now. He's got to have that mentality. And the only reason that you would sign somebody like Lamar is because that makes you, I mean, if all those factors that I mentioned, that just makes you ridiculous. Like if it works out.
I don't know.
Right.
It's hard because I see Pete kind of saw the writing on the walls with Russ and kind of knew that like when he was at the end of his career and and I'm not saying that Russ is definitively at the end of his career, but he definitely has declined, and so that's I don't know. Well, time will tell. I just don't see Pete Carroll taking that risk.
I will say this about Russell. Sorry, Jails.
You're good.
Despite the terrible season that he was top 5 in deep balls. I mean, he still got that touch. He just doesn't. He needs more than Judy, and they traded away their best tight end.
Right. I mean, yeah.
In the deal. I can't believe what we got.
He's not the only problem in Denver, but he's definitely one of them.
Yep. I agree with that. All right, let's move on. We love talking about football, so I mean, there's no hair on my people like Lamar. We're interested. We'll be talking about him a lot this offseason. Gronk talking smack on Aaron. Let's hear it, Gobo. What's going on with this guy?
All right, so this one's tough for me because I honestly like Gronk has been he's been kind of a shit talker his entire career. He's always had the skills to back it up. I have a lot of respect for him as a player. But here's my thing is I was disappointed with how much I agreed with his take on what he said about Aaron Rodgers, because it's like any player in any press conference, you want to be team oriented. And so it's like, what is going through Aaron Rodgers' head right now where he's like, I can win an MVP with the Packers or with somebody else. And it's just like, no, you can't. Like, his play this year was suboptimal. Like if you look at this is the worst statistical year he's ever had in the league. I understand Devontae's gone. I understand Valdez Scanlon's gone and your offensive line had injuries. Those are all excuses, but you went from an MVP season to going 8-9. You lost some very winnable games, and I put a lot of that on Aaron Rodgers and his confidence in himself and in his team. So it's like to say that you can just jump ship, go to another team and win an MVP, and it's just like you're not even interested in winning. You're just like for yourself at that point. So honestly, I'm on Team Gronk on this one. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. But he's right. You have to be team focused.
Much respect. I did not expect that.
Hey man, I tell it like it is. I love Aaron Rodgers. He's the best quarterback that's ever played for the Packers, but yeah, you can't go out there and shit on your team like that.
Is he leaving? That's the question I want to know. Is he leaving?
Yeah, I would say so. I think that's where his head is at. If they can find, I think New York's probably a very desirable spot for him. I think
right money. Me. I mean, he can make a lot of money in one season in a New York market.
Well, he's got that contract already. They need to find a team that's willing to take that contract on. I think that New York has the draft has the cap space to do it. And I think that they've been looking for a career quarterback. And then, I mean, I look at it, I saw the Packers' second best quarterback playing a Jets uniform. So, it's it'd be an easy transition for me. Just as long as he doesn't end up at somewhere in the division, I wish him luck. I'll never discount what he did for this team, but his mind, I don't think he has the right mindset to be a Green Bay Packer anymore.
Good to hear. All right, straight from a Packer fan, guys. NFL.
I don't know if it's good
any more realness, right?
I mean, here's the one thing, guys like this, they're good for the league. I hope he doesn't retire. I hope he's playing next year. And I hate to say that because I absolutely hate playing against the guy. But I hate playing against the guy because I like those games. They're fucking fun games to watch. So we'll see, man. But
I guarantee he'll be in the league somewhere next year. I don't see him in green and gold.
I think he's coming here. That's my pick because with Lamar, he's staying in Baltimore. I think that's where he's staying. I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna.
I think honestly, yeah, it's the Jets or the Raiders, and I got somebody else going to the Raiders.
He may wonder what it's like to be in a major market team too.
Right.
But the shit that he says in Green Bay in his press conferences, he ain't gonna get away with that shit in New York.
Oh no.
I mean,
they'll eat him up.
Zach Wilson says no, and his career's over.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, all right, G-Man Jazz, we haven't heard from you a bit. We're gonna start the next topic. Tom Brady. What's he doing? Where's he going? Is he playing again? What do you think?
Brady ruined my perfect week for the playoffs. So I don't think he stays in Tampa Bay, but I'm guessing Gobes is thinking the Raiders, and that's a good possibility. I mean, connections are there.
McDaniels.
Weapons are there. Running game is there. I mean, he's going to want a little better defense maybe, but don't have a lot of other thoughts on that. It was Cowboys team that we thought we were going to get this week. We'll have to get next week now. So
I think I know what all of you are going to say to this, but I want to pose this question since we're talking about Tom Brady.
Okay.
Again, we just talked about Aaron Rodgers. He's good for the league. I love Tom Brady in this league. I don't love Tom Brady. I don't love playing against Tom Brady because he has our number for whatever reason. But once he's gone, you guys, he's gone. We don't have him playing anymore. And I want to see him push it as far as he can. He's doing things now that are unprecedented. I mean,
oh yeah, his O-line was horrific this year. I'm just saying, we all know Tom Brady. If he has an O-line, say goodnight. I mean,
yeah, he's still the fastest at getting rid of the ball, despite the numbers this year. He's the fastest there was at getting rid of the ball. Now, that needs to translate by, being protected and having good weapons down the field. And I think that was their problem. And whether it was his fault or the coordinator, who knows? Coordinator's gone, so it stands to reason. But my question to you guys is, do you want Tom Brady back in this league? I'm a yes.
I mean, that's a painful question for a Packers fan as well. There's been watching Tom Brady's just continued success. And I think that his skill set and Aaron Rodgers' skill set are very similar, but Brady is just a more natural winner. So it's hard to watch him and succeed over and over again. But if I'm Tom Brady, I'd say get out of Tampa. You're an unrestricted free agent. You can keep playing. You can get paid. He's now a single man. He's probably got some outrageous child support payments to make. So you know what? Go make your money somewhere else. That would be my mentality.
Yep.
But but yeah, he's the winningest quarterback in NFL history. So like, yeah, let's keep riding this train until there's nothing left.
Yep. I think we
Jeff?
go.
Guys, I'm good with Tom leaving. I don't have a big heart. I don't have a big heart for Tom Brady. He's, like you said, he's smashed every record ever known to man. So he has 7 wins, he has 8 wins, he has 8, he has 9, he has whatever the hell he ends up with. We all know he's the GOAT. He can leave. There's always the next guy that's next in line. Once that guy leaves, then it's Rodgers and whoever the other old guys are, and then it's going to be already Mahomes is the face of the league for however long, Josh Allen, whatever it is, but we'll get over Tom being off the field this year, next year, and 5 years, but sooner the better.
So we got
I
2
hate Tom
yeses and
Brady.
a no.
I hate Tom Brady. He can
you
be
want
out of
him
the
out.
league. Bye-bye. Yeah. Do I mind him playing? No, I don't. I hate watching his crybaby ass every week. Look at the official, look down, yell at his teammates, blah, blah, blah. It's fine. So it's fine when Tom's doing it because, well, he's a winner. But if some other player, T.O. yells at his team, oh, he's being a diva, blah, 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 blah. Yet he's give me a break. Fuck you, Tom.
2 things. I'm going to make a comment and then I'm going to come to you, Jails. All right. So my comment is, when we're throwing around the term GOAT, do I think Tom Brady is the best quarterback ever? No. He's the best winner ever. I mean, he's Michael Jordan level winner.
Okay.
Like, I think there's better quarterbacks. I think there are 5 on the list. Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback.
I agree.
Than Tom Brady. Peyton Manning, better quarterback than Tom Brady.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like the Marino thing. Yeah. It's like the Marino thing.
I mean, he's the best winner of all time. You can't dispute that. Now, that's the reason he gets the title of the GOAT. He's played forever. The numbers are going to be there. And I do now that no one's ever going to touch his numbers, I just want to see him pile them up, because that to me is the true thing. Now, Jails, to me, you want him out of the league. What if he comes to New York? Do you still feel the same way?
I don't. Okay, here's the deal. I'm in NFHell right now. What's below hell? Like, I feel like that's almost like the whole thing where like this person becomes like, you're like, what is going on? Like,
I mean, it is a potential landing spot.
It is.
If you guys can't make a deal with Rodgers, like that's your next legitimate.
And it's much cheaper.
Tom Brady a Jet, though, that doesn't even sound
right.
That
what? I had to watch Brett Favre play in a Vikings jersey, so like, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, okay. Obviously, fuck Tom Brady. He comes to my team, and then I have a good O-line. Brees Hall, I have really good receivers. I mean, my defense is like.
You see why I'm throwing out the question. I know you hate the man, but it's hard to argue with wins.
Right.
Question: doesn't the most winning Super Bowl quarterback mean he's the best quarterback? Who cares if he has a bit better arm or whatever? It's the total package of pocket presence, film study, clutch, in the moment, everything, leader. And so for you to say that someone's a better quarterback than him, but they didn't will their team to win even a third of as many Super Bowls as him, I'm not going to buy that. Then you're saying, what are you saying? Mike Vick's the greatest quarterback ever because of his athletic ability, or what? Because Tom Brady is the best quarterback of all time. Period. Go. Period.
I mean, this is the all time this like we might as well argue religion. I love
this argument.
The argument of is Tom Brady the GOAT? I think that it's just like. And it's hard for me because, like, I do agree. I think Aaron Rodgers is more talented than Tom Brady. I think you put them side by side and have them like, who can throw a football more accurately, who can throw it farther, who can run faster. Like, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is more athletic, but I cannot sit here and say that Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback statistically because he does not have 7 Super Bowl rings. And I think that is the universal measure of success. And that's why, even though I hate Tom Brady, like, I think that he is, he does point the finger at a lot of people. I don't think he's the best team player. I don't think that he's the best representative for the cities that he's played for. But I think that honestly, like, yeah, at the end of the day, brass tacks, your hands full of rings, it means you're the best.
I think that Jess just told me that LeBron is better than Jordan. That's what I feel like this argument is turning into.
Jordan retired for a while, bro. So if you do percentage of years
Here,
in rings, I'm gonna
Well,
guess Jordan's
does
pretty
LeBron
close.
doesn't have more rings than Jordan now, does
no,
he?
he doesn't. He
I was
doesn't.
like, he only has 3, right?
But he's got more
2.
points.
No, 3. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
more
I'm saying
points.
Jordan's great, bro.
All
Jordan
right.
has 6.
I'm just saying, like-
Anyway, that's the
No,
NBA.
no. This is a legit argument. I respect what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, if you're talking about the quarterback position, there's people that can do it better. And you're forgetting an X factor here, and that is possibly the greatest coach that ever lived. And whether he's there with him now or not, he learned everything from him. He doesn't need that coach after 15 years. He's already learned everything he's going to possibly learn.
Isn't
But
there an asterisk by that coach's name though? Like a little
For
asterisk.
every single one, yeah.
So I mean, to me, then we can get this whole debate.
if you're going to put an asterisk by the coach, why wouldn't you then put
Misinterpreted
an
the
asterisk
rules.
by the player?
He's Brady has the asterisk too.
All right. Well, then if you're talking about Super Bowl wins that have an asterisk by him, do I really care what your opinion is about how many Super Bowls he's won?
Okay.
I don't. There's better quarterbacks.
But there has to be a measure because, again, if you're the best at something, there has to be a tally. There has to be a way to judge how they are the best. They aren't just going to say, oh, because there could be a kid out there that is a better basketball player than Michael Jordan just because we haven't seen him. He could be better.
That was why I was careful how I worded. That was why I was
there has
careful
to
how I
be-
word what I said.
Right. But there has to be something
He's the
attainable.
best winner.
I mean, if we're
And then-
talking absolutely like skill based best quarterback ever, I think we really need to get Drew Brees in the conversation. So I mean, like I said, it's we could have our own an entire show about this. Like I said, we might as well debate religion because there's a million different things that we could bring into this argument.
Right.
I just didn't know how much Jazz actually loves Tom Brady. I didn't know that.
Yeah, right.
I love him so much I want him to quit. Of course.
I was like, hey, he's the only one his team's the only one who's ever had success against him.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm good with him leaving. Done
I've
with
seen
him.
him once in like 20 years. NFHell. What do you guys think about Tom? Comment below. Tell us how dumb or smart we are. We don't know.
Yeah.
Tell Jazz he's an idiot.
Yeah, we know this guy over here is going to talk about his kicker. Seahawks have some pretty big news for their kicker. Second highest paid kicker in the league.
Dude, $5 million for a kicker. What the fuck, man? That's the first move they make this offseason.
Is he that good?
I mean, he's Pro Bowl. I mean,
Did he miss 3 extra points in a playoff game in a row?
No, 4.
Oh, yeah, 4.
That is
Yeah,
4.
I kept every time he missed one, I was like, oh, he missed it.
Hey, but guess what? They're still in the fucking.
I was like, they
tournament.
won, so it doesn't fucking matter. But yeah,
When you're up by 990 points.
yeah.
So anyway, congrats on your signing. Congrats on your
Yeah, it's a big Seattle news. That's why I put it on the list because
I was like, yeah, I don't care.
No one else cares.
no one
Okay.
cares. But he didn't lead the league in scoring, you guys.
Hey, good for him.
He led the league in scoring.
Everyone's ready to talk about the playoffs. Let's go.
Outstanding.
All right. Well, as we kind of get into the playoffs, there's one thing that we do want to say some amazing news. Higgins and Hamlin are going to meet up in the game at the game. So both time they've probably, I believe, seen each other. Cool. Just like the feel good news you want to hear at the game. Anybody got anything to add? I mean, I feel like everybody will just be like, oh my God, this is so amazing. So
I mean, yeah, it's great. Yeah, Higgins said that he hopes that they can shake hands, have a good laugh about it. It's like, cool, man. Like, I mean, yeah, you don't go on the field intending to kill another player. So.
yeah,
Good laugh about it.
Remember when I killed you?
Yeah. Remember when you died in front
was
of
awesome.
60 million people? Yeah.
Thanks for coming back to life because
Yeah,
Alec Baldwin just got voluntary manslaughter. I don't want that.
That's
Thanks for coming back to life.
Yeah.
it's true.
Don't go to work trying to kill anybody.
Right. All right. Well, I believe that concludes our NFHell news. We're going to move into our picks from last week. We will go through each person's picks, what their record was, I will go ahead and start with my picks from Super. By the way, it was Super wild card weekend. I don't know if you guys catch that change this year.
How'd you guys feel about the week? Like, I loved it. I loved having the Monday night game.
It was a lot of football.
Yeah, I liked it.
It was good.
I like the
I hope
whole
they
thing.
continue this. I
Yeah,
liked it a
That's
lot.
great.
Yep. I especially did like going 6-0 in the first round of the playoffs with my picks.
You did.
Gaining some gain on games. I think it's too little too late, but hey, I'll take my pat on the back when I get it. 6-0, 165 and 112 overall. 112 overall. But I do want to keep my postseason and my regular season, separate. So I'm undefeated right now. Just saying. I'm undefeated. James Mars, how'd you do this week?
I was 3-3. Obviously had to pick Seattle. I wasn't going to pick against them.
Yeah.
But we all knew the writing was on the wall, guys. I mean, it was an uphill battle. Our middle linebacker, the leader of our defense, was out. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I mean,
What are you gonna do? What's your overall record?
I 169 and 102. No, yeah. No, that's not right.
I think you're
Put it on the thing.
172 and 105.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I mean, it's the playoffs. I feel like flip a coin every game.
Yeah.
Gobo.
4-2. I got it wrong with the Vikings. I picked a division rival to beat a friend's team, and I paid for it. So I'm happy to be wrong.
Me too. That's how I feel about it. Anytime the Vikings can continue their NFHell, I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I don't know why. It's like I have a few friends that are Vikings fans that I like and don't like. I like all of them, but it's just like some of them I'm like, man, I really want your team to do the good. Then sometimes I'm just like, you know what? Fuck you. I hope your team.
Well, dude, while managing who I would want to win a Super Bowl and who I wouldn't, the Giants are very high on the list and the Vikings are very low on the list. I mean, there's maybe a Gobo, I'm certain, feels more strong about it. Yeah. Like, I don't want San Francisco to win. I don't want Dallas to win. Literally anybody else at this point, please.
I kind of feel like Giants. I would take Buffalo.
I'm an NFC Giants fucking guy right now.
Guys,
that's what I want.
5-1. I went 5-1 this week, and I went against my division team, the Cowboys. So they fucked me. Still haven't lost 100 games. 148 and 96.
Keep picking the Giants, buddy. You'll get there.
Nice. I did want to mention while we were talking about these games, I was actually watching with one of our NFHell fans who have been playing along for quite a few weeks. Cracker came over. We hung out. We watched some games together. So, James Mars, did anybody else play along?
Yeah, VT went 4-2. Amanda, an impressive 5-1. Jason, not so impressive 5-1 because you were going to pick Dallas, you fucking homer.
Yeah, I mean, who picks their own team?
I know, right?
All of us. All of us.
I know, like every week. God, thank God the Jets didn't go like 3 and whatever this week, or 3 and whatever this year. I would have been screwed.
Did you see VT's got Matt Schaub coming on his show? Did you guys see that?
I did. That's impressive.
Oh, wow.
I'm happy.
That's fun.
Let's give a shout out to Texans Fan Battle, the podcast. They go live every Wednesday. Every Wednesday. Off season doesn't fucking matter. They're going hard at it. Those guys are working their asses off. VT's got more responsibility than ever. So keep it up, young man. I still think you're a fucking tool, but I love
it. Job. Yeah, I mean he's one of the best Texans quarterbacks to suit up for that team. So good for him.
Right.
For sure.
In their 10-year history of that piece of shit team. Okay, anyway. James Mars, we're gonna get the weekend playoff weekend started. It started with you. We all watched the game. We're going to get your initial reaction first.
Well, this game went exactly how I thought it was going to go, except the fact that we were up at halftime. Talk about the all-time tease.
Oh, yeah, man.
I mean, come on. Just the adjustments that Shanahan makes, he's the new Belichick, dude, minus cheating thus far. Seriously, if I could have another coach after Pete Carroll, it would be Shanahan. No questions asked. He's very helpful in the GM's part of it, as well as just an overall savvy, sound, guys fucking play their nuts off for you type of coach. And I hate saying that about a division rival, but I love how good this team is because it sets up next season for just some awesome games. And typically in the history of this matchup, Pete Carroll has owned Shanahan. I think it were 8-2 against them before this year, and this brought it up to 8-5 because we lost 3 fucking times to the same team. This is the second time this has happened to me in my life. I remember when we lost to Mark Bulger and the Rams 3 times under Holmgren, and that hurt worse because that was back when I was a young man and I was very fiery and I hated every team that wasn't Seattle. Now I just love football. I love good football. I want the teams in my division to be top notch because I don't want to go in knowing that we've won. I want to have to fight. And I think if you fight through the regular season and you make the playoffs, you're just going to be a better team. And I want to face the better teams.
Right.
So
I mean, if you
going
think
against San Francisco in the first round is exactly what I wanted. It's just the outcome. They blew us out in the second half. We couldn't hang. Our defense showed itself for what it is, and that's something that needs a 5th round draft pick to come in, or a number 5 first round draft pick to come in and make a difference.
G-Man Josh, you got anything to add to this game?
Yeah, guys, I watched this while traveling, and it was the worst game of the weekend, and it was still a 1 possession game in the fourth quarter, early in the fourth quarter. So, Seahawks, they were outmanned, outmatched, out-talented, whatever you want to call it, however you want to say it. And, Seahawks hung close for a while. And it was a good season for you Dames, unexpected. And, see if Geno can take it up a notch next year and, kind of keep that early season juice all season long. So
for sure, that playoff game cost us an 18th pick for 20th. So that'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. I think I'd rather have the experience for the young guys being in a big game like that. But honestly, the last 3 games of the year were playoff games for us. So they got a lot of experience in big must-win games towards the end of the season. I hope that carries over into next year.
Gobo?
Brock Purdy. I was not very high on him. I thought that, he slots into that system and, he kind of lays back, but he played his ass off in that game last week. So I watch out for the 49ers, man. They're a damn good football team. And Purdy, I know that we kind of made the comparison. I think one of you guys made the comparison a few weeks ago. Is he the next Tom Brady? And he definitely has a lot to prove to get there, but you know what? He kind of looked like it last week. So, I can't say enough good things about that young man, but yeah, Seattle, great season. They went out there, they put it out on the line, and you had him for that first half, but yeah, it's just the end of the day, talent, when you're that outmatched, it's hard to keep up with a team.
So you guys have no idea how many texts I fielded Saturday once the Jaguars went down 27-0.
Oh my God.
After Brock Purdy put up these numbers, everybody's like, oh, who has the biggest dick now? It's Brock Purdy, not your boy. And guess what happened, motherfuckers? We'll get Jails, you want to say anything about the Seattle
perfect
game?
segue into Jacksonville.
I wanted to segue into it, but I was actually going to say something very about Geno Smith. I feel like I've been bragging on him all year, blah, blah. He was a Jets quarterback, so I kind of had some, whatever for that douchebag because he got punched in the face. But I really feel like, and this is a kind of a feel-good story, like perseverance, man. This guy has been showing up to work, being the backup for seasons, like preparing to be the starter. He literally was still preparing at that high level, and now he got his chance, and he pretty much broke every Seahawks single season passing record his first time. So hats off to Geno. I think you're in good hands with him because your running game, your receivers, like you say, sure up that O-line, your outside is fantastic. So get Jamal Adams back. Sad to say, but you need somebody in the secondary to at least be telling people what the fuck to do. So I'm a Jazz. I'm like, next season, I look more forward to seeing the Seahawks play next year. with Gino at the helm. So yes. All right. Anyway, yes. Now we can segue into your big dick. Oh my goodness.
My big dick. Mine's
What?
average. Mine's
Oh
average.
yeah. I mean, I was the proverbial J Law. You know. What do you? All right. I was gonna start with Dames, but since you started the Seattle, we'll go with Gobo. Let's hear about the Jag cray game.
Oh my God, what a mess, huh? Yeah, honestly, like we talked about how, like, you know, Jacksonville has their persona and their identity as a team kind of figured out, or at least more so than the Chargers. And I mean, the Chargers, they just went out there and they laid down. I mean, it's to give up a 27-point lead in the playoffs. I mean, it's the third time it's happened in NFL history. And they like talent for talent, you know, like tit for tat. Chargers are so much better than Jacksonville, and Jacksonville just went out there and made them pay. And like watching that second half of that game, like was that Zay Jones touchdown? I mean, you could have driven a truck through those holes, man. Like, it was like I could have gotten that touchdown. So yeah, big ups to Big Dick Trevor. I mean, he got the win. It's good. Couldn't happen to a nicer team. The Chargers are, you know, they have some really shitty ownership. So rock and roll, man. We'll see how far this crazy train takes us.
G-Man.
I mean, what do you say about 3 interceptions in the first quarter for T-Law? Another one in the second, 4 interceptions in the first half. And this is a guy that has never lost on Saturday. And like you said, James, everybody, this game's over. Nobody blows a 27-0 lead. What is going on? And then chip away. And how is the entire Chargers staff not fired?
Right.
If I own them or had that choice, I would just say, bye-bye. We're starting over, because I'd be that sick.
Yeah, Cracker went to sleep during that game, woke up the next day, and the Jags won. Oh my God, I love those types of stories, man. People go to say, "Oh yeah, they're getting their ass kicked. It's going more to bed."
One of the main perpetrators of the barrage of messages my phone was being blown up with was VT, and he's like, "Oh, Trevor's dick is tiny," you know, all this shit, and I'm like, "All right, I can't really argue with you. You know, you're trying to make me mad because Brock Purdy had an amazing game and to put my team out." And I'm like, "You're definitely just trying to rub me the wrong way." And I was like, I said this right before halftime. I said, "This is what I want to see. Trevor Lawrence is currently my favorite player in the NFL. What I want to see right now is what he does when the chips are down, when things are not going well." And I said, "This is where we'll be able to determine what kind of player this man is." And he fucking lit the shit up in the second half of that game. He was flawless nearly. I mean, so I was happy to see that. Of course, I was like, "Oh, you want to talk some shit now?"
Right.
But
I mean, any good NFL fan will tell you, don't talk shit until the clock hits zero.
Yeah. Like, you think people would know by now? You'd think people would. Come on, VT. You're a Texans fan. I mean, come on.
I want to bring this up just because I know it fucking hurts your soul.
Oh,
Gobo is buying Super Bowl tickets.
I had him queued
He
up.
had him in his cart in the NFC Championship game in Seattle that we talked about before the show started. Had him in his cart
with 4 minutes left.
God.
4 minutes to go. He's like, "I'm buying." And then
I was like, and it was funny because it was such a perfect situation. I had just gotten divorced. The Super Bowl was in Arizona, so it was within driving distance. I was gonna go down there, sleep in my truck, not even bother a hotel room, and then the tickets were like $2,500. I had literally $2,500 to my name. I'm like, it's meant to be. So, and I had it. They were in my car, and I watched Russell Wilson just chip that lead away, and then that, I don't even remember his name, flubbed the onside kick. We lost in overtime. I saved $2,500 and lost a huge chunk of my soul.
Yeah, right.
NFL.
we lost our soul later on in that.
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, at least we didn't, throw an interception on the last play of the game in the Super Bowl.
Oh my God, that makes me. Anyway, all that makes me want to vomit. Miami
By
at
the way,
Buffalo is the first.
Hold on. By the way, 1-0 coin toss playoff edition.
Yes. Yeah, the coin toss. Shit.
And I was at one point looking at that like fucking coin toss. I knew I should have took the Chargers.
It was right. It was right.
Ebb and flow of the
Mine was
game. All right, so now we'll move on to the Sunday game. Again, like Saturday was fun. All right, Sunday, move on. Miami at Buffalo. Everybody thought this was going to be an easy win. Miami. So this is kind of the thing, man. They don't even have Tua. They don't have their backup. And this is why I'm saying their defense, this was a good game. This was a really good game. For a while there, I thought maybe, I was like, is Miami, it's a division rival. I'm like, are they going to pull an upset in the playoffs? The Bills are riding this huge high, you know. Are they going to buckle it? I felt like I almost did, but they didn't. We all saw they were able to, you know, rein it in. But wow, Miami, hats off. They played well. They played well. James Marves.
Yeah, I mean, put Tua in there and what happens? Either you have a concussion and 8 turnovers, or you have a solid game with 8 touchdowns. I mean, he really is the give or take player of the year. When he's on, he's amazing. When he's off, he's concussed, and nobody fucking seems to realize that until he's thrown 4 interceptions.
Right.
It's really weird, but this was a great game to watch. It was a lot of fun. It took it right down to the wire. I would have liked to see him push it like a little bit farther than they did.
Yeah. Yep.
But I mean, it ended how it should have ended because of what we get to see this week. That's all I'll say.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Josh Allen, so talented. Like, just some of the throws he made in this game were really masterful. Miami gave a great effort. You could tell they left everything they had on the field. Wasn't enough to get the win. Buffalo is just they're just a super team. I think that they're definitely a Super Bowl competitor this year. So yeah, not exactly how we thought it was going to go, but yeah, at the end of the day, Josh Allen found a way.
Yep. G-Man Jess, were you able to catch any of this game, or were you on the road?
No, I was already up there, so we caught most of it. And yeah, it was I think Bills shot out ahead pretty good amount, maybe even 17-0, and then the Dolphins field goal. Josh Allen fumbles, defensive touchdown, force a punt. The guy takes it back like past midfield quite a bit. And it's like, what is going on here? Like, you almost thought the Bills' magic was running out, but kind of the same situation. You got a third string quarterback talent at the end of the game, and Josh Allen was dropping dimes, like Gobo said. Some of those, I don't know, 3, 4 deep ones just right in the pocket, man. So
yeah. That's why their team's, you know, one of the top teams to go to the Super Bowl. All right. So for the next about 20 minutes, I'm maybe going to go take a break here quick. If you're at home, you know, you can, you know, G-Man Jazz is ready to talk about his playoff game. I mean, we're still on NFL up here.
He was
Gobo
there. He was there, so let's let him go.
Okay.
Giants, Minnesota. Well, tell us about your experience.
Guys, I was there, and it took about, I don't know if I'm off the cloud yet, but it took a couple days to get off the cloud after this game. Playoff atmosphere, playoff game. There was 2 Giant fans about 6 rows in front of me, and for 30 rows everywhere else, 0 Giant fans. So I am surrounded by a sea of Viking fans, and their skull and the horn going off every, 5 seconds, it felt like. And 125 decibels, stadium's blaring at, and Daniel Jones came out and said, "This ain't nothing. I have arrived. And he played a flawless game for the most part. And on the other side, Dexter Lawrence was in Cousins' face all game long. And Adoree Jackson being back shut down Jefferson. I think he had 1 catch in the second half. And there's so many things that went on. One key point that I want to bring up is Vikings fans.
Yeah.
They have been through so much horrible stuff. They know that it's going to happen. They know, like, this game's getting down the wire. We're ahead. We're controlling it. They all start to just kind of like almost give up already, knowing like worst, knowing what's happening, like it's gonna happen again. And it did. And so before we went to the game, I'm like, guys, every time the Giants, I go, you better hope we don't get a lot of first downs today, because all I do every first down is and the Giants had 28 first downs, and I did that as loud as I could every single time. And I couldn't talk. I couldn't talk after the game, but my voice is pretty much that now. But yeah, I mean, now I'm ready for Philly. I'm ready for Philly. I got those good vibes.
So you're saying that you are as annoying in the stadium as you are on this show?
Way worse.
Okay, and I beg to differ with you. You said it took a couple days for you to come down off I still haven't seen your eyes this entire episode, so I challenge that you've come down off the cloud.
Yeah.
Don't see that happening. I will say this: Daniel Jones looks like a real fucking quarterback in this NFL, and that's scary to me. With Saquon Barkley there still, because and the defense, that's your bread and butter right now. Those two guys on the offensive side and your defense. Congratulations, dude. I'm happy for you. I hope that they continue on to do this. Especially if San Francisco comes knocking at some point. I'd love to see knock those guys out. That would
couple of fun facts. G-men are 6-0 against 1 seeds since 1990 in the playoffs, and the G-men have never lost 3 times to the Eagles in 1 season. Let's go.
Yeah, it sucks when that happens, by the way.
Yeah.
So,
I'll go now. Basically, I'll say this about the Giants is, I also picked them to win. So, because I went undefeated this week. While watching them, I was impressed with like a couple things. Number one, what happened to Justin Jefferson after the first drive? Because I felt like, holy shit, they're driving down. They threw to him 4 or 5 times. I was like, he's going to be a main part of them targeting. Literally, like I think you said, he had how many catches or targets. I feel like they went away from that way too either quick or didn't. I mean, I'm telling you right now, he's double covered. I'm still throwing it to him sometimes.
Right.
Like
it's Justin Jefferson.
I feel like Kirk Cousins, it's the whole like prime time. It is even though it's a whatever prime time, but it's in that moment. He throws a check down on 4th and long to a tight end. Like, because why? He didn't want the ball. He wanted somebody else to either win it or lose it, not him. Like, to me, I'm like, I mean, it happened the way I thought it was going to happen, because Vikings, this is what they do.
That's what I love about Trevor Lawrence.
Dexter Lawrence had like 12 pressures up the middle, and
Well,
when Adoree covers,
you called that too.
Better.
I was like, Dexter's a I mean, yeah, I was gonna say New York's got a great front four. The Dexter, I remember him in London giving Aaron Rodgers all manner of hell. So yeah, I mean he's a great player. And then like Dame said, Saquon really turned it on in this game. When you have that 1-2 punch where you can't really call a consistent defense against a team, it's hard to keep them out of the end zone. And so it was a great win. It's one of those things where Minnesota had more weapons, but you contained them and you kept Kirk. That's exactly how you beat Kirk Cousins, is you just pressure him.
Well, and on Kirk Cousins, to close this out, maybe if Jails might have something else to say, but this is the difference between quarterbacks. When the chips are down, do you want a guy like Trevor Lawrence who's going to keep balling and throwing it into those situations? And look what happened there. Or do you want a Kirk Cousins who's going to check down on 4th down instead of even giving it? This is the playoffs, dude. You have nothing to lose except for the game. And why you would elect in your brain to not give your team a chance. Like,
right. Yeah. There's a lot of players that fall into
2 types of quarterbacks. Like Kirk Cousins has as much talent in his arm as Trevor Lawrence, but this is where Kirk Cousins fails. Is he doesn't ever just say, fuck it, we're going to do this.
Yeah. Right.
Or we're not. How is there even a route running not far enough? Like, I don't care what you say, he's got to make a play. No, he doesn't need to make a play. You need to be past the line and just throw the damn thing up it's 4th down, and the season's on the line. Like you're saying, what are you doing, Cousins? Where are you running?
Don't
Tight
even
end?
have
I
a
wouldn't even
chance.
run that route.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, so
Crazy.
I just felt like the Giants were in control this whole game, though. If you kind of watch the whole game, the whole time, you're like,
From the beginning.
yeah, like,
The opening drive, no, but right after that.
yeah,
It felt like it didn't matter who the Giants were playing in that game, they would have won it.
yep. Daniel Jones, elite level. Let's see if he can keep that rolling. All right, we got to move on.
Do we?
Yeah, we do.
Well, I did. This reminded me of the Seahawks Denver Super Bowl.
Oh, here we go.
And I'm going to tell you why. We went into that game. I don't care who we were playing. That game was over when it started.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Giants' mentality going into this game was like, there's no way we're going to lose.
Yeah,
And
we played them
everybody's
already.
against us.
We should have won.
Everybody's against us. That was just like Seattle. I mean, Denver had the most highest powered offense ever. And I was like, there's no way that we lose this game. I don't know why everybody's picking. And we were fooled. I was fooled into picking Minnesota, but I didn't know the mentality. I could see it on the players. The moment you guys got the ball the first time, I was like, this game's over, dude. And then the second time, I was like, this game's over. And it was offense instead of defense, mostly in this game. But
I was right above the Giants tunnel.
I
And
I watched all of your fucking Snapchats.
I got Dave's. I got Dave to just give me a little smirk because I was just going bonkers at him, just screaming, yelling. He just smirked as he ran by. It was great.
Congrats, dude. I'm happy for
congrats.
Oh man, live for those moments.
Your NFL's going up. I think you're high. Yeah, we're all sinking down into
I
NFL.
was
And
gonna say,
yeah. So
Still alive.
all right. Going on to the night game, I wasn't really sure it was going to be. We were all kind of like, oh, Lamar Jackson's not playing, blah, blah, blah. This one also turned into an amazing football game. Just hold the ball over it. Go down low, bro. Go down low. That literally was like the most insane thing I've like. I know, and Cracker, we watched it. It's like, I'm sure he'll comment on here. It's like, oh my God, that won the game. I feel like the Ravens might have been able to pull that game out.
Right.
The Bengals got lucky. A good team got lucky and won, but sometimes that's all it takes, So I think the Ravens did outplay the Bengals, and they still lost because they didn't have Lamar. Harbaugh, man, we knew he was going to be ready to go.
Well, and here's my kind of piece on this game is I think that I don't think that this was necessarily the Ravens playing above their caliber. I think that this was the Bengals have more injuries than we thought, and it's really affecting their offensive output. So I honestly I think they got away with one. I think that they kind of played down to the level of the Ravens, and I'm worried about them against Buffalo next weekend. I think that the Bengals are in trouble.
James Marves.
I mean, like you guys said, no Lamar. I wasn't hopeful for them.
Yeah.
Bengals did sneak this one out when that play happened on the 1 yard line, and he recovers on the 2 and runs all the way back. I was like, that's not a live ball. I was like, there's no way that's a live ball. I was like, this is ridiculous. I guess that guy's from Cincinnati too. Like,
yes,
through and through.
300-pound guy should not be able to run at 98 yards in the NFL.
I mean,
Mark Andrews
exactly. I would have fell down at the 40.
Mark Andrews was running him down, and he got blocked in the back, and they didn't.
He did get blocked in the back.
It was close. It was close. I don't know. I think they got her around the shoulder, but yeah, I mean, it was.
Dude, if you can't call that though.
Yeah. It was like
that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm okay with him not,
we all thought it.
I thought he was going to catch him for sure.
You can't call that. I mean,
right. And I kind of wanted to mention this a little bit ago, but I just thought of it now. I don't know if anybody noticed, and maybe people watching, listening during the games. During some games, when they would throw like a pass to the out of bounds, and like one guy would call it a catch, the other wasn't sure, they'd start talking. They'd say they would expedite the challenge, get it called in from New York, and just roll with it. I'm like, is this a new playoff thing where they just call in because it wasn't challenged by the coaches? Did anybody know? Especially in the Giants game, they even said an expedited challenge. I'm like, what does that even mean?
Personally, I'd love to see this on every play.
Yeah.
New York, no more challenges. Just fucking get it right in New York. Get it to your officials and move the game.
That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing in these playoff games. I don't know what the situations are, but I was watching a recap of the Giants. I couldn't tell in real life, but I watched a recap and they said that, and I was just like, what the hell is that?
So
yeah,
maybe
they're doing it.
kind of think about that because I didn't hear that rule. I mean, I feel like I was like, what the hell is an expedited so I kept saying that.
I definitely pride myself on knowing all the rules, and yeah, that was new to me as well. So I thought that if it was outside of the 2-minute warning, that all the challenges had to come from the coaches. So
Yep.
You know what? I like it for all the stupid things the NFL has instituted over the last couple of seasons, and this is a good one.
Yeah. Yep. All right, moving on to Monday Night Football. Cowboys at the GOAT. Cowboys came to play. Dak had his probably best game as a professional. Maybe especially that I've seen. I don't watch all Cowboys games, but I feel like he played very, very well. And the Bucs problems that they had all year happened in this game. Mm-hmm. I feel like those were the things that we kind of saw all year. They put it together here and there. They could never really do it, and then they couldn't do it. Their center comes back, didn't play all season long, and then plays in this game, which I thought was a little just thrown into the fire, I guess. But so anyway, I did pick the Cowboys. I didn't think it would be this big of a win, but I just felt for some reason that the Cowboys were kind of need to get off the schneid, and this was it. So, G-Man Jash, your division, what do you think?
Yeah, this is the, capped off the third NFC East team that'll be going on to the 4 teams of the NFC. So kind of to the point earlier, you want to play the best. We've played a lot of tough games against good teams, and the Cowboys, like I said, they show up some weeks and they don't others. So to see them put a bunch of games in a row and win it still seems very unlikely to me, but they get after it on defense, and Tony Pollard is, you might as well just, bring Zeke in when he's tired, and that's it, because he's that much better than Zeke at this point in their careers.
Yep. James Marves?
Cowboys going to hostile territory against the greatest of all time. Winner, not quarterback. Just have to throw that in there one more time. And they did what I didn't think that they would do. I thought they'd been playing not quite as connected recently, and Dak must have taken to heart the fact that he has the most interceptions in the league, and he cut that down, and he played brilliantly. It is what it is, guys. Like, the best team moved on, and quite frankly, the matchups this week are insane.
Right. Gobo, anything to add to this one?
Honestly, I think that when Dallas plays, they're one of the most talented teams in the league when it comes to personnel. I think that, you're looking at CeeDee Lamb, Pollard, you're looking at that defense, Micah Parsons, they have so much gas, and so it's just it's usually a matter of coaching, of schemes that bring them down, or they're really, they fall into these really kind of shitty momentum holes when they go down to teams. But they went in there against Tampa and they just exposed them, and so they're going to be carrying a big chip on their shoulder next week in San Francisco. And it's going to be interesting to see what they can do going forward. We'll see what Cowboy team shows up next week.
Yeah, and I did see an interesting stat. Basically, Sean Payton and Mike McCarthy have the same exact numbers, and everyone thinks that Sean Payton is this genius, and Mike McCarthy was just part of the system. And I'm like, well, Sean Payton did have Drew Brees, and he had Brett Favre.
Yeah, I'm of the ire. I think they're both kind of overrated.
Yeah, I think they're both overrated too. I feel like they're both good, but we haven't seen Sean Payton do anything without Drew Brees. When he didn't have him, I think they sucked. So there's one. So anyway, I decided to put that out there. Chime in down below, NFHell listeners. Tell us what
McCarthy still sucks.
And here we go.
I
Week
agree.
20. You agree? Week 20, divisional round, big games. Please play along. Let us know who you're taking. We are going to start off Dames Marvs, Jags at Chiefs. Can your boy go on the road and beat Patrick Mahomes?
I think this game goes to overtime. I don't think the Chiefs lose again this year.
Boom. Jazz, I see you shaking your head. G-Man, what do you got?
I know this is one of those games where you're stupid to pick the Jags, but they have a chance. I'm not going to be the stupid one to pick the Jags either. I think the Chiefs at home with that crowd, with Mahomes, they limit their turnovers. They've been a little careless with the ball lately, actually. So they got to take care of the ball. And Trevor Lawrence does turn it over once in a while. So on the road is going to be too much to overcome, I think. Chiefs at home. Kelsey's going to score. Your boy Dame, he's got to score 1 or 2, right?
Yep. I'm going to jump on this whole thing with you guys. Here's the thing. I don't see an AFC championship in the next 5 to 10 years where Mahomes isn't in it, close to it. I feel like it's like the old Brady Manning days when every year one of them's in it. I feel like Mahomes is the one guy in the AFC who's pretty much going to be in it. And I don't see Jacksonville coming in. They're hot. They're playing well. They're kind of on this thing. I love their coach. I do love where they're going, but not quite. The Chiefs had a week off. Reed is ready to go. They're going to come some crazy trickery, and the Jags aren't going to be. I mean, their defense isn't good enough to stop Kansas City. Gobo, what do you think, buddy?
Yeah, honestly, I think that the Kansas City is not going to give up a 27-point lead. I think that if they do get up in this game, I think that they have the coaching and the personnel to keep it together. I think Jacksonville's missing a couple of pieces to make a deep run like this, and Kansas City's a pretty complete team. I don't see them losing at home. So I'm going with the Chiefs.
And that's where they thrive too. If they get up early
at home, oh my God,
yeah. I mean,
it's gonna be crazy there. Yep.
Yeah,
it's gonna be rocking.
And it's going to be cold. Florida teams don't do great in the cold either. So I mean, there's a lot going against Jacksonville.
Let's keep in mind too, until this season, Trevor Lawrence had not won on the road. He spent all of his rookie season as a loser on the road. He's bucking that trend lately, but I mean, this Chiefs team's too big.
Yeah. Now, if they do knock off the Chiefs, though, let us know, guys at home. What happens if the Jaguars actually beat the Chiefs right now? What will happen?
I would love it. I would love it.
Break the internet.
Yeah, it would break the internet. Jayla, you see his tweets though? Those were pretty fun. He was tweeting out
the bottom feeder Chiefs fans. I mean,
yep.
Hey, Trevor Lawrence still hasn't lost on Saturday, so this is a Saturday game.
Is it a Saturday game? Oh wow!
It is. Yeah. Yep.
If something wacky like this was going to happen, it would be this season.
Yeah.
On a Saturday.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, NFL, dude. NFL.
You never know.
Yep, NFL. All right, G-Men Jazz. We let you talk for about 20 minutes last time. This is the preview of the week. Division rival game in Philly. One of the toughest crowds I think there are in the NFL. Let's hear it.
All right, guys. I think I'm going to take a pass from flying out to Philly on this one. I want to survive to see Sunday. But obviously, I'm picking the Giants, and there's a couple reasons why. One, we've scored over 30 points the last 2 games. Our starting offense has been together. We arrested some people 2 weeks ago. 2, we're in that zone. We're in that flow. We're in that momentum. Everybody is believing. It's got me feeling, 07 feelings. I was telling one of my Giant friends, the rookie contributing class, and is this quarterback elite or not? And I think, last game, obviously Dimes is starting to prove that he belongs in the conversation. And, going to Philly, it's hard to beat a team 3 times a year. Hopefully Hurts is a little rusty, hasn't played a lot lately. That should factor in. And, this game's won in the trenches, and my D-line is good. Their O-line is good, and their D-line is great, and my O-line is getting better. So I got to have a couple guys step up on the O-line and, just don't turn it over. Let the running game control the clock, keep it out of their hands. Giants on the road. Let's go.
I am actually agreeing with you on pretty much every single thing. I think the Giants are going to come in to Philly. I always say if you're playing a team for the third time of the year, you guys know each other so well inside and out. You know kind of how the game, the flow is going to go. You know who can do what. Your O-line knows what their defense, they're the way they push on the things like that. All these integral details. I think the Giants win because they control the ball. Daniel Jones is a dual threat quarterback, whether people want to believe it or not. Just because he's white doesn't mean he can't run. You got Saquon back there. He hits most of his receivers in stride most every single time. I think he is just on fire right now. And I agree, momentum is a huge thing in the NFL. And when you have a break and Hurts has been hurt, they are not going to be in sync to start the game. And that's where I think the Giants can come out and just kind of punch him in the mouth. And then we go from there. So I'm taking Giants on the road in Philly. GOBO.
Go. All right. So I was reading a little bit about this game and statistically, and yeah, like Jess said, Giants have not lost 3 to Philly like ever. And so I think statistically that's working against them. There's another stat I wanted to bring up. In the last 23 years, the Giants have made this playoffs like 7 times, and they've either lost in the first round or won the Super Bowl. They've never split a series. So
Well, it's a lot of losing in the first round.
that is a lot of losing in the first round. But they didn't lose in the first round this season. So I hate to do it. Philly's a great team. It's gonna be a really tough environment to go in there. But I'm going with the momentum pick. I'm taking the Giants.
James Bond, is this your 3-1 pick thing, or is
you guys have fucked me here? Exactly 2 times in my life have I watched a game, and I mentioned this earlier, have I watched a game where it was obvious in the first quarter that no matter what team you put out on the field, that other team was there to. This week, when you were in Minnesota, you could have been in Kansas City, you could have been in Buffalo, you could have been in San Francisco, you could have been in anywhere. And that Giants team, just based on the way that they were walking around in the first quarter, not even just the play, but like the sidelines, the feel. I've seen that twice. Super Bowl 48 and this game with the Giants, Minnesota. I've never seen a team do it 2 times in a row, though. I've never seen that.
Giants did it. The Giants did it against the undefeated Patriots.
I'm really hoping that. See, and I don't believe that team would have
like 6 games.
I don't believe that team would have beat a lot of other. I mean, they were coming in as a lower seed, so they just weren't. That to me, that I've never seen it. Maybe you have a different opinion, obviously, but I've seen it twice, and once, was non-objective because I was a Seahawks fan watching that Super Bowl, but I felt that same thing in the first quarter of this Giants game. I was like, man, these guys would beat anybody on the planet right now. It doesn't even matter who's on that field. These guys are amped. I have to pick Philly because you guys all picked the Giants. I thought I was gonna be alone with Jazz here.
Yes.
I thought I was gonna be alone with you, buddy, picking the Giants.
Yeah, you guys are scaring me.
I had them, but just in the interest that we're not all picking the same fucking teams, I'm gonna go with Philly. I hope the Giants come out first quarter, show me that there's nobody else on the field that can beat them, because then I'll ride their asses to the Super Bowl, dude, through the Super Bowl.
Let's go.
Unless it's Kansas City, because I don't think Kansas City is losing again this year. But
I was gonna say, yeah,
I wish you the best of luck, bro. But just in the interest of being different, I'm gonna roll Philly.
Let us know who you guys got in the NFC going to the conference championship. Comment below. All right, let's move on to Sunday's games. First game we got Bengals at Bills. GOBO, I'm going to let you start this one off. You were already kind of talking about Josh Allen, the Bengals being beat up a little bit.
We talked about last week, if DeMar Hamlin shows up on the field, it's a huge boost. He did not appear at the Miami game. He is confirmed to be. He's going to have that moment with T. Higgins pregame. They're going to hug it out, say their niceties, and then I think when we get out there, T. Higgins says, him and Hamlin are going to have a laugh before the game, but I think Hamlin's going to have the last one at the end of the game. So I see Buffalo taking this one. Could be close, but Bengals have a lot of offensive firepower, but they're dealing with some injuries. They struggled against Baltimore. Baltimore is not a very good football team. I think it's going to be closer than expected, but I take the Bills.
Okay. James Marms, who you taking?
All right. Must see TV. You guys, this is the game that never was.
Right.
For those of you that were watching that game, I felt like Cincinnati was going to run away with it. I honestly felt that way in the game. It was, I think it was 7-3.
It was in Cincy though.
Really early.
I mean,
Doesn't
are we
matter.
talking? Are we going to be in snow?
I mean,
It's still fucking cold in Cincinnati, so
true.
I mean, I get what you're saying, and the emotional boost both before the game and during the game is going to be a huge lift for Buffalo. I'm gonna go Cincinnati. I just got a feeling, man. I've got a feeling that they got Buffalo's number. And to be perfectly honest with you, as much as I like Buffalo, I don't want them in the Super Bowl because they're gonna lose. And I don't want the fans to have to be like, we
Talk about NFL.
lost 5 in a row.
Four in a row, man.
That's
So-
NFL right there. Oh my God. We know they lost to the Giants in one of those. Jess, we're good.
Oh my God! Somebody had to bring it up. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ!
Well,
That was
you-
the one that was the Giants where they missed the field goal at the end, right?
Yeah.
Wide right. Wide right.
Yeah,
Scott
Scott
Norwood.
Norwood.
Scott Norwood.
Scott Norwood. Yeah, I
Scotty
mean,
Norwood.
I would love to meet up with Buffalo in the Super Bowl, and I have the Bills beating the Bengals, just for that reason, because that would be probably, the funnest matchup as far as getting to play Dable's old team, Joe Shane's old team. It kind of has that narrative. So Bills at home, everything you guys said, and Joe Burrow, you can't count him out. So expect it to be close late, and last team that has the ball will win.
Right. And I have a quick question. Did the Bills play the Giants when you were in kindergarten? Is that the same thing that you were talking about earlier, or was that a different team? 80s?
That is, you're right.
Yeah.
That is.
So I feel like if
That'd
that's
be
the whole, your
full
son needs to
circle.
watch
full
the Giants.
circle. No, that was that 90. I don't know. I mean, someone's gonna have to
Does your
fact check
son
me.
give two shits about football?
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Hey. Oh yeah, I forgot. I almost forgot this story. Thanks, Dames. I drop my kid off at school every day before I go to work, and I'm walking out, and the PE teacher goes, "Hey, excuse me," and he sees I have my Giant stock cap on. He's like, Nolan's the only kid in school that picked the Giants to win the Super Bowl, and I'm like, let's go. I'm just like,
Cry? Did you have a tear?
Yeah. Did you go
Yes.
home and like just have it?
yes. I elevated another cloud. It was like, oh my God, that was so good.
I just
so good.
Yeah,
Does
it's
the
just
boy
like doing the Breakfast Club like fist pound, walking off the field. Yeah.
I just want to. Does the boy own a shirt?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because Snapchat indicates that the boy has no shirts.
Oh yeah. He has them on game day. You see his Hupkey one on game day.
All
Thanks,
right.
bro. Thanks, Jules.
No problem. Anytime. So anyway, back to this game. I actually circled the Bengals. That's who I was gonna pick. All of this talk about Hamlin coming to the game and this bill. I'm switching my pick.
Wow, you tool.
Oh,
I'm taking Bills. And I feel like at the beginning of the year, I was in on the Bills, and I don't know why I went away, just because whatever. Now this whole Hamlin thing coming back, gonna be at the field. I feel like they can't lose this game. They can't. After all what they went through. Now, again, can they? Yes, obviously.
I was like, it's
yeah.
still Buffalo. They're the most disenfranchised fan base. So yeah, I mean, it's
Yep.
if any team is going to lose it, it's going to be this one.
Yep.
I mean, them and Vikings fans, right?
Yeah, it's true.
right.
Vikings have also lost 4 Super Bowls, so yeah, it's
yeah. I mean, at least I don't have that NFL.
yeah, right.
Yeah, you got to make it. You got to make it to win it.
Yeah, you gotta make it.
It's
I'll say, yeah, you guys are undefeated in the Super Bowl.
1-0, just like me this week in NFL. 6-0. Weird. All right. Well, last game of the weekend, Cowboys at Niners. I'm gonna go ahead and start this one off. All this hype about the Niners. I think that the Dallas defense is playing very well, and we have a rookie quarterback in for the 49ers. I think some people, and obviously me included, forget that he's a rookie. He's playing so well, but I think it has to end at some point, and it's not a Super Bowl championship. No rookie has ever won it. Granted, does he have a great chance? His team's amazing. Could I eat my words and they win it? Yes. But I just feel like Dallas is also one of those teams that's kind of under the radar. People aren't talking about them. Nah, they're not going to win it. They barely got in the, I think they're going to go into San Fran. Their defense is going to win the game because they're going to shut down Brock Purdy. They're going to make him beat them, and he's not going to be able to do it. So I'm taking Cowboys on the road. Bold pick of the weekend at Niners. G-Man Jess, I see you're disagreeing with this one.
Oh yeah, let me talk about my division team that you have all your faith in nowadays. The same thing as every other year. I was one game off, but the inconsistency will show up. They fooled you again. They fooled the media again, and I don't know what you're talking about. Everybody's talking about the Cowboys all the time. Jerry probably already bought them tickets to, the Super Bowl. So what's going to happen is Purdy will survive one more game, and the 49ers at home with all their weapons get it out of his hand. He doesn't have to play like a 10-year vet. He just has to get it to the weapons. So Cowboys, your run is over. Enjoy your one playoff win every 25 years, and see you next year.
James Marvs, split on this side.
I fucking hate both of these teams with a passion that burns deep in my soul.
Deep inside you.
I cannot wait to see this fucking game. Now, obviously, if I had to choose, I would pick the stadium imploding on all those fucking fans, on both the teams. Everyone dies. Start over from scratch. New franchises next year.
NFL.
NF heaven for me.
Oh,
That's what that would be.
Dark Knight Rises moment.
I cannot wait to watch this game, though. This game is the one where you guys, I feel like if San Francisco had lost a game in the last 5-6 games, they would win this game. But they're on like an 11-game win streak, and that's fucking a lot of pressure. And especially when you have a Super Bowl quarterback that hasn't really been under any duress at all in this early part of his career, he's going to come up against Micah, whatever you want to say it. And he is not going to be prepared for that shit. And I think that he has a couple turnovers. I don't think he finds Kittle at all in this game because that's one thing that Dallas does is they lock your fucking tight ends out. I got Dallas. Dallas goes into San Francisco. Brock Purdy show. It turns into a quarterback controversy with Trey Lance coming in.
Cracker's got a boner right now. Two of us have picked the Cowboys. He's watching at home going, oh, yeah. Gobo, what are you doing here? You going with James and you're going to side with Jess on this one?
I think the boner train stops here, gentlemen. You know what? So Dallas locks up Kittle. So what? Like, you got Debo, you got McCaffrey, you got Ayuk, and Brock Purdy. Like I said, he's him, man. I don't know if his dick is as big as Trevor Lawrence's, but man, he's got presence in the pocket. So I like San Francisco here. I also I think Dallas has been exposed pretty consistently throughout the season. I think that, if they show up like they did last week, it's going to be a very good game. But I just think San Francisco's got too many weapons. San Francisco, I hate, James, you're probably going to hate me for saying this. San Francisco's my Super Bowl team at this point. I think that I don't see anybody beating them.
To win it or to go?
I think San Francisco's going to win it this year.
Against Kansas City?
Or
That's
Buffalo?
a good matchup. I think they're better than Buffalo. I think Kansas City, San Francisco is the best Super Bowl matchup. But I honestly I think San Fran. Honestly, I think that if San Francisco beats the Giants, I think that's their toughest opponent left. Because they have all that momentum coming in. They got Saquon, they got Daniel Jones, they got that D line. I think that's going to be a great NFC championship, but I think that the Cowboys are toast this week.
All right. Well, there you have it.
I actually already had that marked down that you were going to pick San Francisco. So
Did
I'm
you?
not at all surprised to hear that. I will say this, you guys. If that happens and it's San Francisco, Kansas City, what was the point of even playing the season? Because everybody would have said that at the beginning.
Yeah.
They
Right.
were like, these are the two teams. And I don't roll that way. So I think
I mean,
that
but
there's too many factors.
Buffalo and New York would be a fun Super Bowl too, just to recreate the wide right.
Oh my.
mean,
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Does the
my.
West Coast even care about that game at all?
So,
No, I think everywhere from like Chicago east is the only people that care about
Hey,
that.
Iowa,
that
Iowa
point,
East.
we're just watching it for Rihanna at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. All right. Well, that does conclude our picks, NFHell. We can't wait to see your picks. We'll see you next week. I am your host, Midwest Jet, joined by Dames Marvs, G-Men Jass,
I hate the fucking Eagles.
Gobo. We want to thank you guys for joining us. We will see you next week for the conference championship picks. Woo!
Gobo, I got a joke for you.
What's that?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Don't forget to speak your piece in the comments section. Also, like and subscribe to Lock 22 Productions, and thank you for listening to NFHell.